Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to our last series of lectures. We are, as usual, coming to you from the studios of WCLG. Today we're going to Today we're going to finish the class with lectures on three different topics. The first is agency, the second is employment law, and the third is immigration. So it's not going to be much on all of those. Each one of those subjects in itself could be a full year course in law school, but we're going to try to capture a few of the high points of each of those subjects. So our first lecture is going to be agency. Okay, agency is when a person represents another person. The person doing the representing is the agent, and the person they are representing is the principal. So an employee, for example, may be an agent, and an employer will be the principal. Every employee is an agent of their employer. The agent's principal responsibility is of a fiduciary. Now, a fiduciary's obligation is to put the principal's interest above their own. For example, a lawyer is an agent of a client. The lawyer's obligation is to put the client or the principal's interest above their own. Fiduciary can be either a noun indicating a person, that is a fiduciary of a trust, for example, or it can be an adjective describing a duty, a fiduciary duty. But it essentially means, whether adjective or noun, that put the other person's interest above your own. All right? So that's what a fiduciary is. A question that often comes up when you're talking about principals and agents is, when is an agent responsible? When is a principal responsible for the actions of an agent? For example, if the agent is driving the principal's truck, let's say a construction truck of some sort, and runs over somebody or runs into somebody's car, who's responsible? The agent driving the truck or the principal? Well, quite often it's both. But what we're going to see is that when an agent is in doing the job of the principal, the agent and the principal are both responsible for their acts. All right? Now, that policy is called respondeat superior. That is a Latin phrase that means let the master or the superior answer. And it comes from Old English cases that were brought over to the colonies and permeated American common law that says, under certain circumstances, when the agent does things for their master, that if the agent commits an act of, say, negligence, then the master as well as the agent are both responsible. Okay? Now, how do you determine when the agent is responsible and the master is responsible, or the agent alone is responsible? You look at whether or not the agent is on a frolic or a detour. If the agent is on a detour, If the agent is just on a detour, then the agent and the principal are responsible. Now, what's a detour? Let's say you send your personal assistant down to the post office to get some stamps or mail some letters. The agent stops in at the store to pick up a package of cigarettes or gum, hopefully gum, and bangs into somebody's car while they're in the parking lot. It was only a block or two out of the way. That is a detour. The agent is considered still on the master or the principal's business if they're on a detour. Now, on the other hand, if they're on a frolic, the agent is responsible solely for the act. What's a frolic? A frolic is a significant deviation from the master or the principal's business. For example, that same personal assistant that is going to take some letters to the post office, goes to from Napa to St. Helena to pick up a couple of friends, has a couple of beers at a local bar, comes back, and then goes to the post office. That's a frolic. That's a large deviation from the principal's business. If there's a large deviation, it's a frolic, and the agent is responsible for the acts and not the master or not the principal. It is a matter of a question of fact to determine whether or not the agent is on a frolic or a detour. That is what a jury decides in a case of negligence like that. Okay, folks, that's our little mini lecture on agency. So just remember, respondeat superior means let the master answer if the agent is responsible on a detour, but not if the agent is on a frolic. Okay, thanks a lot. Talk to you in a little bit with another lecture.